I bow to your wisdom. What I say, it's kind of like when you go to the shoe store. Sometimes the shoes feel great when you're in the store and you walk home and you realize, wait a minute. And in that case, I ask you to walk for a little while and say, is it because the shoe is new that it doesn't feel comfortable? Or is it that it really isn't a fit? And if it's not a fit, to send it back. Okay, so bowing to your wisdom. And the other thing I say, we're not going to cover everything today. I always ask for the guidance that whatever is said is going to be of greatest benefit to us. And as you said, this we're an oasis here. We're a spring of energy that's emanating out from us. So let's take a breath together. Let's go into our hearts. And just recognizing within that heart space where we're coming here into summertime, into this extraordinary sun in Cancer. Cancer, the breast. Cancer, the Divine Mother. And the heart associated with Leo. And this time of year, just imagine that heart of yours just absorbing and filling with pure love. And that we are here together, surrounded by a sphere all around us. And first, that we align with our own unique, sacred, sovereign connection to that supreme, sublime essence, by whatever name you may call it, whose name is love. And that we now, we are coming together as a constellation, as a solar system. And just imagining, there's that beautiful saying, from my heart to yours, from your hearts to mine. And just allowing the radiation to go out to each other's hearts now, just effortlessly connecting. And from our hearts, just following the spine down to the heart of Mother Earth, our great mother. And at this time that she is in transformation, that she and we are creating with our hearts, with our love, co-creating with her a new earth grid, where the dreams that we've, as it says in that beautiful song, somewhere over the rainbow, how about now it's somewhere in the rainbow, under the rainbow, with the rainbow, here and now, that we are creating the dream come true that we know is possible, where love and peace and well-being and joy and integrity and wisdom and beauty are being like flowers that have been there, but opening and opening and opening, and we're recognizing the garden of grace that we're within. And sending anything that no longer is in harmony with this vibration of love, sending it into the earth as compost. We don't need it, but Mother Earth knows how to do that regeneration beautifully. And just imagine scooping up whatever it is that replenishes. That is what your garden of grace needs. And to all your bodies, your physical body, your emotional body, your body of intelligence mentally, your spiritual body, your body of the sheerest, the underlying template of space and beyond, the integration of all that. And then from our hearts going up the spine to the heart of the sun, connecting with all the stars in our Milky Way, and from the heart of the center of the Milky Way to all the multi-universe. And then breathing into, likewise, giving, if you want, if you feel inclined, any beliefs we may have outgrown about how things are. And as if we are now feeling under, that we're feeling and filling under what is like a waterfall of the most vintage energy of precious water, plasma, the water bearer, the great Aquarian water bearer pouring over us, and that it can permeate us, flow over and around us, bringing immense blessing. And that the earth energy and the celestial, the terrestrial, meeting in our hearts, the divine, male, female, and also inviting as mentors, each one of us have, whether it be angels, animal spirits, teachers, ancestors, whatever it is, the only prerequisite is they come in full love and for us all to be benefited from the presence. Breathing into that, just a moment of silence. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we'll take a dive into some of what's happening. So, Sun, Venus, and Mercury in Cancer in the 9th house, which the 9th house is the house of wisdom. So philosophy, the word philo is love. Sophia is wisdom. So here's this incredible mother energy of nurturing. But where? In the area, in the habitat of wisdom. And that relates because the moon is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius's natural home is the 9th house of wisdom. So how is this nurturing happening? It's not just happening with hugs and, mama, but it's asking us to share our wisdom and the realization that each one of us has within us wisdom. Wisdom, 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 wisdom. And together, what that can seed. Then we go to Jupiter. Well, Jupiter is in Gemini, as I think you mentioned, and it's along with an interesting placement we call Sedna, which is at 0 degrees Gemini. So Sedna, I'm going to abbreviate some of this stuff because this could take a long time, and I know we have lots of other beautiful things on the agenda. Sedna, long story short, is the story of it's an Inuit story, and a story of how many of the species came to be, but the father was not a kindly father, and then married her off, and that was a catastrophe. Then married her off to somebody else that also didn't work, and then she's in the water, and she's clamoring, trying to get back into this boat, and he chops off her fingers. But what happens, her fingers become the whales, the dolphins, the seals, the sea creatures. To me, it's a story that no matter how much attempt at dominance, the female creativity, the waters are so inherently creative that even from what appears to be catastrophe, incredible new life is born. So to me, that's at 0. So we're 0 Cancer is tomorrow, is when we have the solstice. That means it's an exact 120 degree trine, 120 degrees trines. Buckminster Fuller, years ago, I was in one of his classes, and he'd have all these, different rods, and let's say 5, and they're wiggling. He'd take one off, he'd throw it into the audience, and then 4 is still wiggling, and then he'd take one and he'd throw that away, and what's left is that triangular shape. It doesn't wobble, it doesn't winkle anymore, it holds its shape. And I remember going, holy mackerel, that's why we say the grand trine is so important. It's a relative stability, that coherence. So we're having that with the Sedna, which is by the Jupiter in Gemini, which is communication. And it's in the 8th house of transformation and regeneration. So from the depths, from the deeps, from the waters. We also have Pluto, right smack at 1, but that's only 1 degree away from that 0. And we have Vesta in Leo across from it in the 10th. Well, Pluto in Aquarius, that's this time we're ushering in. We have a very slight couple of weeks in the fall where we go back to Capricorn. But I think this is the major, I'm getting the image of when the waters break, right? When birth happens, yeah. Woo, right down there. There's no stopping this new Aquarian era. And I had I just got huge, I call them Shakti shivers when you get that all over your body. A few weeks ago, I had a download. And it's something I'd never thought of before, never heard before, but Adora and I were talking right before, and I just came from Ashland, where there's these springs, and there's this natural spring that goes into a womb-like pool, and we were doing a ceremony with the golden angels, women like us, as a prelude to this retreat for ancient healing secrets, and with the intention of blessing the retreat to come, the water, the land, and the whole holy whole, right, of everything. And I was met by this wonderful woman who's kind of the keeper of the land there, that part. Her name is Grayleen from Grail, or Graylin. And we started talking, we really connected, and I told her about this download, and she said, oh my God. And she takes me in, there's the yurt. In the yurt, which is the goddess temple, there's this statue about as bigger than me of that image of, the Aquarian water bear with, the jug. And I go, oh my God. So here's my download, and it relates to anybody heard of Veda Austin yet? Any Veda Austin? She's amazing. She has taken the work of Dr. Emoto to a whole other level with the waters. And the download I got was that the water bear, the Aquarian, it's not just an air energy. What if it's taking this year, Saturn, 29 degrees, it's the last degrees of Pisces. Pisces is Neptune. We've been in the Piscean era. We're moving into the Aquarian one. Saturn's there too. And Saturn has had a bad reputation. Constriction, but can you imagine breath without breathing in and breathing out? It doesn't work that way. Nature, it's an in and out is nature's way. But additionally, what came to me was, in many traditions, especially in India, Sat is the word. Satnam, that means truth. And urn is a container. A container, usually, we don't say when we put someone's holy ashes, we don't say we put it in a bowl, we put it in an urn. So it usually has a sense of something that's sacred and sanctified. What if Saturn in Pisces, along with the Neptune, is about this year, like the cream, like the butter rising from the milk of all this Piscean era, moving into the compassion, the dance, the poetry, the universality that Pisces and Neptune is. And that this year is, along with that, the Pluto with the waters rushing, the baby never comes out in one push that I know of. It's a series of contractions, that's moving down the birth canal. And what if this year, that's what we're here, all simultaneously as midwives and birthing the baby. Each one of us, and way beyond us, that there's pods like us that are here today, all over the planet involved in this process. So that feels like it's one of the main things that I want to say. The North Node's in Aries with Mars in Taurus, which is the Earth in the 8th house. Uranus is there. Aquarius doesn't leave behind Saturn. It doesn't leave behind structure. It brings in new structure and can bring in the best of all the traditions, the ancient wisdom, and let go of, all the,
dogma.
What's that?
Dogma.
All the barking up the wrong trees.
Oh.
Ow! Yes. And let's see one more thing I want to say so the dwarf planets. Maki is at 8 tomorrow at 8 Libra, exactly degree of the ascendant here in Santa Cruz.
Whoa.
Maki comes from another mythology associated with the Easter Islands. They evidently stripped all their trees. And it's also where those large, monuments are there. But there was a tradition, the birdmen. And what would happen is they realized their mistake in not taking care of the environment. So they took the young braves, and the young braves each one was associated with an elder. And the elder, they were like the sponsor. The brave would dive off of a high cliff, swim through the waters, go to a nearby islet, and their job was to go up the trees into the nest, find the first egg of the season. And they had this apparatus, they'd swim back with it, and then whoever won, whatever brave won, that elder would go into retreat for a year. So the archetype is one of the marriage of the interior and the outer brave, the outer Mars and the interior Venus. That is right smack on the degree of our ascendant here in Santa Cruz. Libra has to do with balance. And Venus is the planet that's, associated with it. Venus is the planet associated with the Mars being in Taurus, the Taurus Venus. And there they are both, Venus sandwiched 4 degrees from the sun and 3 degrees from Mercury. So 0 and change, Venus is 4 and change, Mercury is 7 and change in the 9th house of wisdom.
This house of what?
There's more, as I said, we have time here. So in respect for that, I hope it wasn't too much, but thank you so much.
Can you just put
Yes.
that in very simple words for me, please? What can we expect?
We can expect that it's a sacred time. The soil is fertile for us to plant the wisdom seeds, to water, to know that water, which we're comprised of so much, is a big component, compassion and flowing and carrying into this air. It's not just Aquarius like the new tech, the elder, mind, mental mind. it's this feminine quality is really essential, is being that we pour it, that we carry it with us. We take that cream into where we're going, and that we really wrap our arms around the knowing that each one of us is a midwife and a birther of the dreams, not just for ourselves, but for the planet, for the water well-being of all beings. And that there's no one way. So just really respecting that you, every one of you, empowered, that we count. And so that whatever we hear from the media that can be intimidating and everything, we you know, so the duck, I have two images. the duck, the water flow, you know, it flows off. And also what I call sponge therapy. Fill up your sponge with the qualities that you want to experience of love, of joy. And then when you go out in the world, you're not going to be, you know, sucked in or sucked on. You then become an emanation of the waters, the pure waters. And you still have empathy, you still have caring, you know, but you don't get absorb some of the emotions that are not healthy, that are circulating. Then it helps lift the vibration, because it's all about vibration.
Purify, right?
Yes, it's all about vibration, it's all about love. And, you know, here we are.
So if you've been doing rituals since the harmonic conversion,
Uh-huh.
we knew this was all coming,
Uh-huh.
and how I see your talk, and knowing Sedna, I listened to my astrologer, has come back, and all this Gemini is creative
Yes.
thought. I see what you say as this big wave of intelligence and wisdom that is going to wash this Piscean right out to sea, and it's going to evaporate, and we're going to be in the new Aquarian age.
That's beautiful, because the evaporation, the water is going to another, it's like part of the purification, recycling,
So
yes.
it's like this huge wave that's going to send us right into what we've been working towards since the harmonic conversion.
Yeah.
And we're here, finally.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Thank you, Mira.
Yay,
Uh-huh.
thank you.
Thank you.